Reynolds. She's a local former teacher, mom, grandma, is organizing a gathering at Jefferson County Schools headquarters later this morning to support getting kids open for in-person learning for kids. We'll do it right now.
Summer is the perfect time to tackle those indoor projects on your list, like escaping the heat and refreshing your home with new paint. Lowe's has you covered with our #1 best-selling color, Agreeable Gray, and accent colors like Snowbound and Retreat. Plus, you can get Valspar's dual scrub and stain resistant ultra interior paint.
Happy Thursday. I love Thursdays. I'm Ross. Thanks for spending a little time with me. As a parent of 2 middle school kids, I care a lot about what's happening in our schooling. Here in Colorado, we're a little better than most places, I suppose. It depends very much on your district. For example, Littleton right now says that they intend to open August 24th. Colorado Springs said the same thing. They intend to open August 24th, but Denver Public Schools announced yesterday that they're not going to open until at least mid-October for in-person learning. They're going to have on-screen learning. Now, one of the bigger school districts here in Colorado is the Jefferson County School District. And actually, I don't have in front of me what day they say they're going to open, but I'm guessing that my next guest knows. Leslie Reynolds is a certified teacher. She's a mom. She's a grandma. And not only does she have a lot of thoughts about remote learning versus in-person learning from all of those perspectives, but she's organizing a little get-together today at Jeffco Public Schools Administration Building in Golden to encourage people, the decision makers, to open schools. So, Leslie, good morning, and thanks so much for being here.
Good morning, Ross. I appreciate very much you having me on this morning. I'm just part of a group of Jefferson County families, moms, grandmas, kids, and we love the opportunity to share our stand on parental choice for in-person learning.
Okay, there's a lot of aspects to this to talk about. I would like to start first with your take on the difference for the kids between being in school and learning on a screen. It was not easy for my kids, and my kids had great support, fine technology, good teachers, and I still felt like there was very little learning happening.
Well, that was actually the experience of many of our members that are helping support this walk this morning. We felt that we were anxious about the disadvantages of not having in-person learning, and we are anxious that choice be present for us. We have lots of hardworking parents and residents in Jefferson County, and we're spending $1 billion of that hard-earned money on public education, and we just believe strongly that parents and children in Jeffco deserve the choice for whether or not we can have 100% in-person learning.
So I'm just going to play devil's advocate here for a second, because okay. I want schools open. But what if you were a 60-year-old teacher and maybe had some mild underlying medical condition? And I bet that describes a fair number of teachers. And thought to yourself, I'm really worried about going back to school and catching something. And I realize that the virus is very low risk to the kids, but it's not very low risk to me. Where do you go from there?
Well, we recognize that, there are lots of different parameters that go into the lives of people to give them cause for wanting schools to have in-person learning or wanting remote learning. We recognize that there are many things that people need to take into consideration, and we believe that originally the district, Jefferson County Public School District, gave us a plan with choice and with some choice for teachers, and if they met certain criteria, they would be able to perhaps teach remotely. They had other options available to them. We also believe, though, that the needs of our kids and the harm that's being done to them. We actually believe harm is being done to them because we feel that their mental health, along with their education, is really suffering. Basically, is a greater magnitude than the risk that is out there. All of life has risk. We know that. We don't ever want anybody to suffer or be hurt or harmed in any way. But from where we stand, what we see with our children, the harm that's being done to them is large. And we just feel that we need to stand up and speak for the choice, for us to have choice. We don't want to remove remote learning, but for those of us that want 100%, that want in-person learning and teachers that want to go back to the classrooms, we have many contacts with teachers that are anxious to get back to school. We feel that choice should be present for us.
As I look at the Jefferson County Public Schools website, it looks like the last time they updated their restart plan was about a week ago, and they say August 24th, all students will begin with remote learning. September 8th, pre-K through 5 will begin in-person learning, and it looks like they're talking about full-time in-person, although parents can choose remote for those younger kids. And then for grades 6 through 12, middle school, high school, they're talking about a hybrid model of alternating days of in-person and remote learning. I have my thoughts on that hybrid, but I want to know what yours are.
Well, some of our members, family members, group members working on this are high school students. Some of them will be at our walk-around this morning at 10 o'clock at the Jeffco District Administration Building. That's 1829 Denver West Drive in Golden. And some of them are coming. They're anxious about not being able to be in the classroom because they did experience remote learning for the last quarter of 2020 when the virus first hit. My focus right now is just on the choices being available to us. That we had been given that plan that we would be going back to in-person, and now that it's changed, we just need more community input on giving parents the choice to send their kids back to classrooms, and that's our purpose and our focus today with our walk in Golden. We just would like to let the Board of Education and the public school administrators know where we stand. We want them to listen to the concerns of all of the parents and to provide an opportunity for us to let them know that we're anxious for them to continue to hold out for us to be able to get back into the classrooms.
Yeah, and look, I'm absolutely with you on this. I think in almost any school, except for teachers who are maybe at really significant risk, and maybe you have to do something very, different for those folks, or maybe they need to retire or something for a while. And I don't say that with any spirit of animosity, just in health, but
sure.
But it should not be difficult to pretty effectively keep a teacher from getting too close to kids. I talked about this yesterday a little bit on the show. You need to hand out papers to all the kids. Well, you go put them on a table away from you, and you have the kids walk over one at a time, keeping distance from each other if you want to do that. And you don't need to be near the kids. And I think this is doable, especially at a school district that, it's got the budget of Jeffco Public Schools. They should be able to do almost anything.
Our kids love their teachers. We consider teachers to be essential workers in our group, and we believe that the mental health of our kids really depends on being in classrooms.
Yeah.
So we agree that there should be steps that can be taken, that they can protect everyone, and we can mitigate the risk to a large degree and enable healthy education to continue for our kids.
Okay, one more time, the details for any folks in Jefferson County who want to meet up with you and send this message this morning.
Okay, we are holding a walk-around. We are meeting at 10 o'clock, 9:30 actually, starting our walk at 10 at the Jeffco District Administration Building, 1829 Denver West Drive in Golden. And we're expecting moms, kids, grandparents, and even some teachers to come with posters to let the Board of Education and public school administrators know where we stand.
Excellent. And I will note that in your sign-up page, you say masks and social distancing will be required. We're not going to make this thing some kind of wacky anti-mask thing or anything like that. This is just about getting kids back to the education that they need.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Ross, for having me.
I appreciate that you're organizing this. I think you're doing the right thing. I think you're sending the right message, and hopefully they'll listen. Thank you, Leslie.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. And once again, folks, if you're in Jeffco Public Schools, you got kids in Jeffco Public Schools, 10 o'clock this morning, you can get there a little bit earlier, 1829 Denver West Drive in Golden. 1829 Denver West Drive in Golden to walk around the Jeffco school administration building, maybe hold up a poster saying open schools, and don't be rude, right? We're just trying to get them to go along with what parents and students need. We'll be right back.
Happy summertime. I'm Robin Hart.